I struck out swinging in slow pitch softball last night. Man, I was feeling good last night too. I hit a line drive and then the next at bat I hit a grounder, but I beat it out so I got on base again. Then when I went up for the third time, I tried to swing as hard as I possibly could twice and I didn't even come close to making contact. I mean, I didn't even know what to do. I literally just tipped my hat to the pitcher. I'm like, jeepers. And I did okay after that, but I was actually having trouble making good contact because I think it got in my head because swinging and missing at a 5-mile-an-hour underhanded softball is a little bit embarrassing. Also, I thought my YouTube got hacked yesterday. Thankfully, it didn't. I'm not sure what happened. I'm sure some of you guys noticed if you went to my channel, everything was gone. But if you typed my name in, all my videos were still there. And it wasn't just my channel. A lot of different channels got hit with whatever this was too. But everything, as far as I'm concerned, should be perfectly fine now and we should be all back to normal. It's just a bad day yesterday in general. Alright, what is up guys and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're actually going to be hopping right back into fantasy football. I shouldn't say right back, we haven't done it for like 4 months. So before this video starts, as always, I like to go over just like 2 or 3 things. Number 1, I am not a fantasy god, I'm not a fantasy genius, I'm not a fantasy guru. I've played a lot of it, I've been in multiple leagues, I have a lot of experience, I think I can try and help you guys, but I'm not guaranteeing everything I'm saying is right. Also, this is a PPR league, meaning point per reception. But yeah, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an overview on my first round and where I see each player going and why. One quick thing guys, head over to gfuel.com and use code WyattzWorld. You can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. Alright, on to fantasy. Actually, before we even go into the mock draft, we're going to do a separate little list right now called the 5 don'ts of fantasy football. Number 5, do not draft your favorite player because they're your favorite player. That's just stupid and you're basically burning money in front of your face. Number 4, do not draft a quarterback in the first round. It doesn't matter who it is. Don't. 10 times more valuable players than a fucking quarterback. Quarterbacks can be streamed. Number 3, not too closely, but make sure you're understanding when your players are going on bye weeks because that can fuck you. Last year, I drafted like 5 guys who all had a bye week on week 9. I think I put up 20 points that week. It was terrible. Number 2, this is a very, very important one, and you're going to have to sacrifice a mid-round draft pick, but get a handcuff. Whoever your running back is, draft their backup, and you need to get him. Otherwise, your friend is going to have him. Your running back gets hurt. You're screwed. And your friend is going to want an arm and a leg for that piece of shit backup who's only going to play 1 week. And number 1, it's not really the most important, but it's just kind of obvious. Don't play like 3 players from the same team in your starting lineup. Like that's seriously just fucking dumb. Not all 3 of those players are going to have a big week at the same time. That's almost fucking impossible. Alright, now let's get on to my mock draft. Okay, so like I said, this is PPR, and I know 4 months ago I had a list too, and it's kind of similar, but there is some big changes. So starting out at number 1 on this list might come as a shock to some people. I still have him here, but yes, Christian McCaffrey is still my number 1 guy. He almost ruins the excitement of fantasy at this point. It's just like 95% of anybody who gets a first round pick is probably going to take him. There's a couple others you could take, but in a PPR league, it just wouldn't make sense. This guy does absolutely everything. He runs, he catches, he scores touchdowns both ways. He's as active as you can get. He's going to be on the field for almost every single snap. That's points. That's all points right there. Every catch is a point. Every 10 yards is a point. Every touchdown, 6 points. They might ease him in with a little bit of a lighter workload to start the season out, but I bet you by like week 4 or 5, if he's still healthy, he's going to be full steam ahead and he's going to be just as good as he was. If this wasn't a PPR league, I'm not certain, but since it is, Christian McCaffrey at number 1. Number 2, we still got Delvin. That hasn't changed either. This is basically a coin flip. If you want to do number 1 and you don't trust Christian McCaffrey, then you're going to take Delvin. And if you really don't know who to pick, like, seriously, flip a coin. Christian McCaffrey definitely catches the ball more than Delvin Cook does. Delvin Cook definitely runs the ball more than Christian McCaffrey does. Kind of a reality check too. Delvin Cook scored 3rd points for running backs last year behind Alvin Kamara, who had Drew Brees throwing him dump-off passes in a PPR league. But Delvin only finished behind Kamara by literally 1 point, and Cook still averaged more points a game than Kamara did. I mean, it's pretty much justified there. Now, I understand he's a little bit worrisome with injuries, but he played 14 games last season, so I'm not too worried anymore. Delvin Cook at number 2. Alright, at number 3, this might shock a couple people, especially since it's a PPR league, but Derrick Henry I'm taking. He scored the most points out of anybody in fantasy last year besides the quarterbacks. Like 320 points or something. As a running back, not catching a ball in a PPR league, that's insane. He's got an extra game added on to this season. Derrick Henry, for the most part, is a very reliable source of both points and health. He's never not going to be a good pick until he retires, as long as he's a starting back in the league. It might not be the most exciting thing either watching Derrick Henry, because he does have the games where he slowly gets you points. But he was in a rhythm last year where he single-handedly got me to the championship, because every single week he was going out there and just throwing up like 20 points at the end of every single day. I do kind of wonder about his role maybe taking a little bit of a descent, because they now have Julio and AJ Brown. That's just double eye candy for Ryan Tannehill. But Derrick Henry's probably still going to get 300 plus carries. I wouldn't worry about it for a second. Take him at number 3. All right, number 4, we got Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I'm dropping him below Henry because, well, he didn't score as much as Henry last year. Neither did the top 2 people, but Drew Brees is also gone, meaning Jameis Winston's probably going to be the starter. They're not going to be doing as much dump-off screen passes to Kamara. He's going to have a great role on the Saints. He's going to be a good running back. He's going to be a good receiving back whenever they need him. But I'm just saying, there's not nearly as much incentive to just dump it to Kamara, which is going to give him as many points as he got last year. Dude, this guy ruined my life last year. He got like 24 points in a game once. And he only rushed for 60 yards because he had so many damn catches. Man, that was so annoying. But anybody who had him absolutely loved him. Regardless of that situation, he's one to be extra careful with, though. If you get Kamara, 100% get Latavius Murray. I would even almost get Latavius Murray regardless, because they kind of use him. But we know what Murray does when Kamara gets out. He comes in and he goes off. And your team name could even be Lights Kamara Action. I hate myself. All right, moving on to number 5, we got the first receiver on this list, and it should come to no surprise at all, Davante Adams. Rodgers is coming back. They're going to be playing as hard as they can for a Super Bowl. This is the last dance. It only makes sense. Also, not to mention, Davante Adams was the highest scoring fantasy receiver last year, so that just, well, adds to the situation. But be warned, once a year it seems like he misses 3 to 4 weeks at a time, whether it's turf toe, whether it's a dislocated shoulder, I don't know what the hell it is. Every single year, at least once, it seems like he misses a short span of weeks. Make sure to get Lazard or Randall Cobb or, I don't know, Brick Hands maybe. Tanyan. But with the number 5 pick, you're not going to go wrong with Davante Adams, assuming he's healthy majority of the year. Most accurate, deadly quarterback with the best receiver in football. That combo just means money. All right, number 6, hear me out. I moved him way up, but hear me out. Zeke. Okay, Jerry Jones paid that man a lot of money. He is going to run the fucking legs off of him. Okay, it doesn't matter how bad or good he does. Doesn't matter if he ascends, it doesn't matter if he descends. He paid him money, he is gonna run the fucking football, and he is gonna run it all goddamn year until he gets hurt, whether he likes it or not. Yes, they're gonna be throwing the ball like I said in yesterday's video. They're gonna be down. Dak is gonna be airing it out a lot. He's gonna have to, but they're not gonna be getting their ass kicked all the time, and they're gonna wanna be keeping a lead a lot of the time too if they can, because they're gonna be losing it if their defense hits the field. Meaning they wanna stay on offense longer. It's gonna be smarter to give the ball to Zeke. That's how I see it going, at least. I see him getting a shit ton of touches, a lot of action, even though Dak is going to be really productive on his own end. Take Zeke at number 6. Definitely get Tony Pollard later on for that, too. Fantasy owners of last year. Nah, seriously, Zeke was ass last year, but I think this year he'll bounce back. All right, up next on this list is another change. I got the Cheetah at number 7. I think the last time I had Diggs going ahead of Tyreek, and I still don't really have an issue with that, but Tyreek averaged like 5 more points a game than Diggs did. And he also outscored him by like 40 points. Now I know in real life Diggs had, the best year as a receiver last year. He had the most receptions, he had the most yards. And in fantasy that's super good. Like I said, there's not a bad option here with picking Diggs. You definitely can, and I would consider it, but Tyreek can get you more touchdowns, okay? So that's just an extra security blanket on top of the fact that he's playing on the Chiefs under Andy Reid with Patrick fucking Mahomes throwing him the ball. Like I don't think he's gonna have a bad year ever, as long as he's playing on that team fantasy-wise. In the prime, under the age of 33, Tyreek Hill is gonna be good. I would definitely trust him at number 7. And number 8, I'm sure you guessed it, Stefon Diggs. I don't really need to say a whole lot about him because I just kind of broke him down when I talked about Tyreek. But you know what you're going to get with him. You're getting Josh Allen's number 1 target. You're going to get a lot of catches, a lot of receptions, but probably not that many touchdowns. By the way, Diggs isn't not going to get you touchdowns. He'll get you between, I don't know, fucking 8 and 10, but Tyreek got 15 last year, and that's going to continue to happen. I guess it's stupid, honestly, but But anyway, back on Diggs, definitely a top 5 option for a number 1 receiver in fantasy football. There's very few that you're going to get who are more consistent and as good as him on a week-to-week basis. I remember last year because I did draft him in like the 4th or 5th round. It was outrageous. He started out slow, but then at the end of the year, he was getting me goddamn 25 points a week. And there was just no stopping him. He was a freak of nature. I'm going to take Diggs at number 8. All right, number 9, and I think this guy has honestly stayed exactly the same since last time. Aaron Jones. Yeah, he is going to be good, and he's going to be really good. For anybody who's about to say, but you just said Davante Adams was going to have a really good year, he is. But so is Aaron Jones. The last 2 seasons, Davante Adams has been going off, well, at least last season for sure. 2019, Aaron Jones, 1,084 yards, 16 touchdowns. 2020, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. And I know I was wrong, man. I called that guy red zone dependent at the start of like last season. But people still bring it up, and you have every right to. What I said was a bunch of shit. He is a lot better than that, and I would definitely take him in a first round situation in fantasy football. Later first round, but I would take him. He was quietly one of the most productive running backs in fantasy last year. All of fantasy, actually. Let's look at it. Regardless, Aaron Jones was the 5th highest running back last season. 211 points out of 14 games, averaging 15 points a game. That is a running back 1. That is consistent, and that is what you want. Trust Aaron Jones. Trust Aaron Rodgers. Moving on to number 10, and boy, did this guy take a fall. Nothing he did. I would never be mad at him. But number 10, we got Nick Chubb. Okay, no matter what, Nick Chubb is safe. You got a good pick there. There's never going to be a wrong pick. Last season, out of 190 attempts, he had 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns while splitting carries with Kareem Hunt. Like, you're going to be good. So in no way is that going to be sour or anything, and he's on my list for a reason. But like I said, just the option of him splitting, the option of Kareem going out there, taking some row away from Chubb, I feel like if I drafted him too early in the first round, I could get really pissed off in games. That's why I dropped him from like number 4 or 5 all the way down to 10. But Nick Chubb, still love him, still an asset, still a number 1 running back. Also, I would try to draft Kareem Hunt. And you're gonna get mad certain weeks too that Kareem Hunt throws up 30 points on your bench. It's gonna happen. Number 11 on the list, we got another running back that might turn a few heads, but Jonathan Taylor, I would absolutely fucking take in the first round. Especially that they're not going to have a quarterback for the first possibly 7 weeks of the season. Jonathan Taylor actually finished 4th last year, just averaging half a point less a game than Aaron Jones at 14.5, which is still excellent. Okay, I know they got Nyheim Hines, and I know Marlon Mack is healthy and still on that roster, which is going to make it a 3-back tandem. I don't really believe that shit, dude. Frank Reich likes Jonathan Taylor. They know who they have with him. They know who the number 1 is. If I had to guess, Jonathan Taylor is going to be on the field majority of the time. Nyheim Hines will come in for play actions or passes, and Marlon Mack will come in and fill when needed. Jonathan Taylor, in my head at least, he's going to have just as much of a role as he ended last season with. Yeah, 1,169 yards, 11 touchdowns off of 5 yards a carry. Like, the Colts aren't going to not use him. I'm sorry, that'd be fucking really stupid. Stupid to the point where I would light a bag of my own shit on Frank Reich's doorstep if he doesn't use him. Taylor is a beast. If he's there at the very, very end of your first round, because you're going to be getting another pick very shortly if it's a snake draft, which it should be, I would take Jonathan Taylor with flying colors at number 11. And number 12 is a mixture of about 18 different people it could be. Now, I'm going to give you my top 3. If I had the 12th pick, I would go in this order. Because you're going to have back-to-back picks, keep that in mind, you will have back-to-back picks. I would lock in either Saquon or Joe Mixon, one of those two right there at number 12, or Austin Eckler. He wouldn't be bad either. And then the next pick after that would be D-Hop. Or D-Hop and then one of the running backs. It doesn't matter, vice versa. You can't go wrong. Number 12 is one of the sweetest positions, but one of the most sour. You got to wait a long time, but you're going to get a lot of good players. And you're going to shaft a lot of people. Like, you're going to piss off the entire league. Saquon scares me. I've expressed my my fear with him. He looked like ass last year before he got hurt. And he just missed an entire year. Like, there is concern there. Joe Mixon, I absolutely love this year. He's going to have all the attention in the world. No Giovanni Bernard to take anything away from him. I would absolutely trust him with my life in this situation too. Another one, Austin Eckler. And then we have D-Hop, who is probably the best receiver in football, but fantasy-wise last year he wasn't. I mean, he was like top 5 or top 6, I think. DeAndre Hopkins finished 10th last year. I'm happy I looked 10th. No, don't be fucking stupid. Like, he's not the 10th best receiver in football. He's on a brand new team. Okay, he's going to be better. You remember him at the end of last year? Like, he went crazy. He's going to be just as good. He's always going to be a safe bet. It's DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, I would go with those 4 as a mixture at number 12, and then the next pick because the 12th gets back-to-back. And that is my fantasy mock draft and my fantasy kind of, well, help video. I don't know if it was really a help video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope those who are trying to get into fantasy find this helpful. Anyway, guys, that is going to be all for today's video. If you guys liked it, you already know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, turn the little bell on. I try to post every single day. And I saw whoever said he doesn't post on weekends. I post skits on weekends, 4 of them to be exact. So, yeah, bite me. I'm pretty sure you were joking. I'm just trolling. Anyway, guys, you know the drill. I'm going to hop off and edit this shit so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, I will see you in the next video.